Hey guys, welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel, Become Better. Today's video we're going to talk all about the topic how it takes time to get from where you are now to your goals. And I know that's sort of a cliche thing to say, but it really is true, and I think sometimes people sort of forget that. Sometimes I think in life people sort of think that, oh, because I'm doing X, Y, and Z, or just because it's someone, for example, when you want to start something, sometimes you can think, oh, I'm going to start it and it's just going to take off, or I'm going to start this thing and in the first week I'm going to be successful. And I'm not saying that if you start something it's not going to be successful the first time you do it, or when you just start up, but there's this phrase, and the phrase is, Rome was not built in a day. And sometimes, you might start a business, for example, and I know a lot of business owners, when they started, they didn't see success at the beginning, because when you first start a business, no one knows about you, no one knows you exist. So you're not going to get customers right away. And I think the lesson that I want everyone to take away from this video is that Rome wasn't built in a day, and if you start something new, it may not be successful the first week or the first month or the first year. It might be a year later down the line, or the year next, or the year next. Just like how Disney wasn't built in a day, how Walt Disney started off with doing one cartoon, and then he went through loads of failures and loads of different challenges, and even went bankrupt, and he even went homeless. But then in the end, he just didn't give up and he kept going. And I think one of his motivational quotes was believe in yourself, believe in the idea, and be confident. And if you want to do something, make sure to believe in yourself, and make sure to go all the way in, and don't give up, and things like that. I truly believe that was his secret to success. And another success story was someone opened a coffee shop, and at the beginning he had no customers, and again he had no customers, and he kept showing up with his business every single day. And then one time a truck drove past, and he stopped for a coffee, and then there was an old lady and she stopped for a coffee, and one by one he grew his business, and now people are recommending him, saying things like, oh, always go to the man who's open at 8 o'clock. So that was another success story. So it's sort of another thing is keep showing up. Sometimes, if you keep showing up, people will eventually catch on and it will become popular. But it's also another thing is not everything you do will be popular. So if you're starting a new business venture, for example, this is the most common thing. People start a new business venture, it doesn't work first time, and then they want to quit. But you have to keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going until you find something that does work and it is popular. Even with Walt Disney, he tried loads of different animations, and it wasn't until the Snow White animation until he got lots of money from it. And then after that he'd made some more animations, and then he went bankrupt, and then he eventually stumbled across the idea of making an amusement park, and the amusement park that he ended up making was the one that ended up getting loads of attention, and now it's global, and now Disney is worth millions, all because of one simple man who had a dream. So this video is just about not giving up, and keep going, whatever business idea you have, or if you have another idea of starting something new or starting a new job, just keep showing up and keep persisting, and eventually if you keep showing up, I think keep showing up, and also have confidence in yourself that it will work out and you will be successful, but it just takes time to build, and it's not going to happen overnight, and you are going to go through a lot of setbacks and failures and blessings in disguise. That's another thing. Sort of sometimes in life you try different things and they don't work out, and sometimes when it doesn't work out, it's just a blessing in disguise. It's just, sometimes it's redirection, and sometimes you, in the moment, you feel like, oh, it sucks that it didn't work out, but when you look back at it, it's sort of a blessing in disguise that God was just like redirecting you to something that would work. Even I've had this in my own personal experiences where a relationship hasn't worked out, or like something I wanted really badly and I didn't get it, and sometimes it is just like a blessing in disguise. Like sometimes you'll look back at it, you may not understand it in the moment, but then you'll look back at it in a few years' time and you'll think, wow, I'm so glad that that didn't happen because something better came around the corner. Like for example, with like my parents, they wanted to buy a house, and they were so set on this house with like so much love and stuff, and someone else ended up like getting that house, but then they ended up finding a better house, and now they live in the house that they currently live in. So that's another example of sometimes how blessings are. Sometimes things don't work out like for a reason. I believe that like everything happens for a reason, and like if something doesn't work out, don't put yourself down or get upset, because it just wasn't meant to be, and whatever was meant to be will find you. But this video is all about just Rome wasn't built in a day, and to reach from where you are to your goals, it takes time, and sometimes you'll climb up the steps and then you'll fall down a few, and then you'll climb up again and then fall down. It's sort of life, it goes up and down, but if you keep showing up and you keep persisting and you keep climbing steps, like set yourself baby steps, and then each bit by each bit you will climb up the stairs slowly. And sometimes, have you heard this phrase like slow and steady wins the race? So sometimes in life, if you know you're not progressing as much as you would like, sometimes it's not about you, and it's not about like everything that's happened. Like sometimes it's just, it takes time to build something, especially from scratch. Like if you're starting a business, or if you're like for example, the business, it would take time to build regular customers, but once you've got that base and that foundation and you'll become popular and lots of people know you, then it's much easier to build on that. It's sort of like when it comes to relationships, you know, you have to have a basic foundation for something to grow and survive on, you know. And yeah, so that's another thing that I really think about. Like if you really want to build like a good life for yourself, you have to like really like sort of take pride in who you spend your time with, and friendships and relationships that you build in your life. And you know, Rome wasn't built in a day, and if you want to start that new business or that new venture, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time to get where you want to be, but it is worth it. Just never give up, because there, I think in like Walt Disney's example is he like went bankrupt, and then he was living at his brother's house, I think, and then I think he almost gave up, and he almost just went to a normal job, and then I think his brother said to him like, just try one more time at animation, and he said like no to his brother, and then his brother would keep persisting, and then he eventually gave in, and then now Disney is where Disney is now. And sometimes if he didn't get that push or that nudge, he may have not done that if it wasn't for his brother. I think that's how the story goes. I'll leave a link in the description about that story, because it's really inspiring video, and you should definitely watch it if you haven't watched it already. Most people probably have watched it if you've watched this video. If you're obviously a Disney fan, let me know in the comments section below if you're a Disney fan. I love Disney. I prefer like the original Disney films, classic, love that. Comment what year you're watching this video in as well. But yeah, Rome wasn't built in a day, and just don't give up. What I've learnt from the Disney story is that if he would have given up, then we wouldn't have had that. We wouldn't have what we have now. So just never give up, because you never know what's around the corner, and you never know what blessings are going to be next. And follow your gut and your intuition, because it always guides you and always tells you what to do. And yeah, so Rome wasn't built in a day is what you want to take away from this video. And if you really want something, just keep working at it and take it step by step, like baby steps. And like over the years you'll see the progress, but sometimes you don't see the progress from day to day, which can like get you discouraged. But sometimes you just need to rest, recharge, and then come back to it later, and don't quit. So yeah, that's what I want you to take away from this video. It takes time to reach your goals, sometimes a lot more time than you initially think, but it's worth it in the end. Just don't quit and don't give up, and have a vision for your life and keep pushing through and don't give up. So that's what you wanted to take away from this video. I hope you enjoyed this really special video that I've made. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and like this video and subscribe down below. Check out all my other videos, have a lot of variety, and I will see you guys next week for a brand new video. Keep showing up and keep being you and never quit. Bye guys.